Oh, I don't know. I'm really unsure if this video is even going to be interesting. Hi guys and welcome to today's video. Today I am at my bookshelf. I guess usually I'm like sitting here, so I'm not that far away. But today I'm at my bookshelf because I want to organise this. And I thought I may as well kind of bring you along for this. I am actually going to have a bit of a clear out. And this, I feel like, is quite controversial. I feel like people basically keep all the books they've ever owned, which, I mean, like, this is the shelf I've got in here, but in the living room, it's in my room, in the living room I have another shelf that has like loads of books, largely from when I was a kid. I mean, they are a mess, I really do need to sort through those, but it's got like loads of Jacqueline Wilson, a couple of like classic books, some books that are, I don't know, they've got cookbooks. There's just a whole bundle of random books in there. But this is largely kind of like my more recent books, and I just wanted to organise this. I find that people generally keep all the books they've ever owned, and I think it's kind of like a, hey, look at all the books I've read. But people haven't typically read all the books on their bookshelf, and I really want to at least have read most of the books on my bookshelf, and that's why I just don't see the point of me keeping everything, because if I'm going to have this many books, then I'm realistically not going to be able to buy any other ones or read any other ones. I have put myself on a bit of a spending ban because I want to at least read 10 books this year before I buy any more. But that said, my birthday's coming up, so people might buy me books for that. Someone local to me was giving away this book, so I feel like I found a little loophole and I was able to just pick this book up for free. So it's a little bit tricky. I would rather just put these books out into the world and give them to someone so that they can read them and they can love them. I kind of feel like there's no point in me keeping them all, just so I can kind of be like, hey, look how cool my bookshelf is, or like, look how knowledgeable I am, because A, I'm not knowledgeable, B, I haven't read them all, and C, well, I guess I've got lots of different points. I'd rather they just went out into the world, especially if I don't like them, I'm never going to reread them, or I just don't think I'm going to reread them. Like, what's the point of me keeping them? If I'm likely to lend them to a friend, then fair enough, but there are a couple of books here that I've already lent to most of my friends anyway, or at least most of my friends that do read books, and so I think what I'm actually going to do is like gift them to a friend, and then that person can either keep it or pass it along to someone else. Let's just quickly tilt up a little bit. My top shelf is messy because from here along, that's not books, as you can tell, but these are basically largely my hardbacks. I just really don't like hardbacks. I just find them really difficult to store. I find them difficult to travel with. I don't know, I just don't think they're great. I really want a bit of like a system in terms of what I'm going to read next as well. I feel like maybe just these books on top need to be what I'm going to read next. So let's just go through and organise. I don't have them leaning against the wall because we do live in a Victorian property, and I mean, like, this wall is freezing and I don't want it to like cause any damp or anything like that, so I have to leave a little bit of space here. But I'm going to take these all down, and I think I'm going to like put them into separate piles of what I want and what I don't want. Or maybe, I don't even know if I need to move them. I don't know, we'll see. And I think I'll talk you through a little bit as we go, but this is actually what I'm reading at the moment. I've decided that I need, in order to finish this, I'm gonna have to read it alongside a piece of fiction. I do enjoy this, but I've mentioned before, this is Pandora Sykes' How Do We Know We're Doing It Right? I feel like I've never heard anyone say this name out loud. I feel like I never even read the name. I feel like it's the first time I've heard the title. It's called How Do We Know We're Doing It Right? It's by Pandora Sykes. I haven't loved this because I find that it's very, very, very referenced and like very research heavy, which I know sounds like a good thing, but it ruins the flow in my opinion. I am going to try and read this, and I am enjoying it, but just I don't think it's something that I can read by itself. Along with that, I'm also reading Expectations by Anne Hope. So first I'm going to take down all the ones that are along the top because I don't know, they need a bit more organising. I think now I'm just going to go through these and decide if there's anything that I might be getting rid of. I'm going to kind of have a maybe pile, and once I've created the maybe pile, I'm going to go through my Goodreads and then decide from Goodreads if I'm going to get rid of it. If it's got like a low rating, then I feel like what's the point of me even dedicating too much time to it. Oh, this is a maybe for me. No, I don't know. This is Me Talk Pretty One Day by David Sedaris. I feel like I'm the only person that didn't love this, but I didn't. Oh, there's books in here that I really am just a little bit unsure about. I mean, I think I might actually enjoy that, but I have to actually get around to reading it and not just having it on my bookshelf. Let's put it on the maybe. Controversial. I did not think this was as amazing as people made it out to be. Oh, there's a lot that maybe I'll get rid of. I need to decide. Do I get rid of this? I haven't read this. Okay, let's see. Oh, I need to like look into this one because I'm a bit unsure. Okay, don't know what that's doing there. I'm not sure I've even ever seen this book, so I'm not sure what it's doing here. Okay, I think we'll deal with these first, and then
move on to those.
Okay, so I have a huge pile of books that I might get rid of, so I think we're going to talk through them. So first we have The Doll Factory by Elizabeth McNeil. So I'm going to go to my Goodreads. If you guys don't follow me on Goodreads, I'll link it down below. It's a 3.8 rating, but honestly I feel like it's going to be one that I'm going to get rid of. How have my friends rated it? Not so great. I thought it was sci-fi, but maybe it's not, so maybe I will hold on to this. This was actually one that I was like 100% sure I was going to get rid of, but I think it's more of historical fiction, which I enjoy, so I'm actually going to hold on to that. Then I have Night Train to Lisbon, which is by Pascal Mercier. Oh, I think it's also worth noting, by the way, because I have lots of books that look like this that are clearly like used books that I'm saying I haven't read. Now the reason that is because most of my books, actually most of my paperbacks, some of my hardbacks were gifts or they're like new releases, so I bought them new. But most of my books, either someone locally was giving them away, so sometimes I pick them up if they're a book that I genuinely think I'll enjoy, or there are some local like sharing libraries which I give to and which sometimes I take from as well. So this is actually from the local sharing library. The reason I picked this one up was because it's based, at least I assume it's based in Lisbon. Being Portuguese, I think this will be quite interesting, and because of that I actually do think I'm going to keep this. I need to now reorganise all these books, but I'm just going to put that here. One I do think I'm just going to get rid of is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I've seen the film. I don't think I'm going to read the book anytime soon. I'm trying not to read books that are like too sad. This book's to do with cancer, like a child with cancer. I think that's just too heavy for me, especially because I've seen the film, so I don't feel like I really need to read this. This one I actually think was like gifted to me at some point as a PR package, but not from the book publisher, but I think I'm happy to let this one go. Then I have The Road Home by Rose Tremaine. Now this one I have no idea where it came from. It definitely wasn't from a charity shop, and I wouldn't have picked this up by itself, I don't think. It's a wise, witty look at contemporary migrant experience. That sounds tempting. Oh, this does sound quite interesting. It's got a 3.86 rating, but it's also largely based in London, it seems. So that is tempting. Actually, I'm going to keep this. I don't even, on my Goodreads, I have a on my shelf folder, and that's not even on there, so I'm going to add that to that. Sounds quite interesting. By my next clear out, if I haven't read this, then this has to go, I think. This is The Red Ribbon by Lucy Adlington, and this suggests on the front that it's similar to The Tattooist of Auschwitz, or at least the person would enjoy that, so I'm assuming this is another war book. Now honestly, I typically do like historical books. I do like books about the war, where at least I find them interesting. However, I haven't really been in the mood to read them, I think just because of the current world climate. It just seems a bit much, but this has such good ratings that I'm going to hold on to it. I feel like I need a good way to like start reading all of these, because otherwise I just end up picking the same books, like the books that I've received most recently. Then I have this one, which is, I don't even know, this is a proof copy. I wasn't sent this, like someone local to me was sent this and she was then getting rid of it. It's called All the Things We Never Said, and it's by Yasmin Rahman. Now this is YA, which tempts me to not keep it, but it has excellent reviews. 16-year-old Marine's anxiety and depression, or chaos as she calls it, has taken over her life to the point where she can't bear it anymore. So she joins Memento Mori, a website that matches people with partners and allocates them a date and method of death. But I'm wondering if the topics are too heavy. Has anyone read this? Should I read it? People are saying it's amazing. Oh, you know what, I think I'm gonna get rid of it. Just because it's YA, I have so many books I need to read, I think I'm happy to let this one go. Then I have Natural Causes. This one, I actually have a copy of this in Portugal, and I'm just happy to just have it there. I'm not in a rush to read it, and I'd rather read it there because it's like one less book I have to take with me on holiday, so I'm just gonna get rid of this one. This one is, I think, kind of like Adam Kay's, oh, what was it called? This Is Going to Her, but I think it's about a surgeon. No, it's about a forensic pathologist. It's by a British writer as well. Then we have a classic, which is John Williams' Stoner. I feel like this video is really uninformative, so I'm really sorry, but it's just I don't know about a lot of these books, so I'm even unsure if I'll ever upload this video. But anyway, so then this one here I have is called Em and the Big Loom, and this I think is largely about mental health, and it's by the way, Jerry Pinto. It's based in India, which really does attract me. I like books based in India, and I think it's a bit of a comedy, but also deals with very serious topics. It's quite a thin one. I think this is actually based in Goa, from what I can tell, or at least like somewhere close. I think this one's tempting. I think it's one I would read. I'm definitely going to give that one a go. This one is The Unbearable Likeness of Being. I don't know if this is now a film. Am I confusing that with something else? Probably. It's a classical romance, and I think one that's kind of spoken about quite a lot, so I'm going to hold on to that, and that is by Milan Kundera. The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I am so conflicted as to whether I should keep this or not keep this. And this is by Stuart Turnton. The reason I'm conflicted is because I've heard that this book is like Groundhog Day, and I'm not sure I want to keep reading the same story over and over and over again. But that doesn't tempt me. People I know have rated it 2 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, 2 stars. But then there are quite a lot of 5 stars. I think for me this is just too much of a long book for me to risk not enjoy. I don't know. I think I'm not going to enjoy this. I think it's too long for potentially not enjoying it, so I think I'm happy to get rid of it. Then we have One Day by David Nicholas. I think again I'm happy to get rid of this. I don't think I'll ever reread this. Some people loved this book. I think I gave this 4 stars, so I did enjoy it, but it wasn't like groundbreaking. So I think I'm going to pass it along to someone else that will enjoy it more than me, because I don't think I'm likely to reread it, and there's no point in me keeping stuff unless I think I may reread it. Okay, then I have Queenie. I think I won't reread this, so I'm not going to keep it. I thought this was a fine book, but it wasn't great. I think this made it onto a lot of Black Lives Matter's reading lists, but I don't think this was a groundbreaking book. I think that there are black authors that write books that are better than this. I'm not saying this was a bad book, but I feel like it's really been pushed, but I think that's because people got a bit lazy to look for better books written by black writers. I'm not saying it's bad, but I didn't love it. I don't know, because this is based in London, which makes me typically really relate to the book. It was just a bit average, so yeah, I'm getting rid of that. Like I said, I'm sure I have friends that will happily read that. Then I have Dubliners, which is by James Joyce. I don't know too much about this book. Maybe one to get rid of. I do love a book based in Ireland, which is why I think I ended up keeping this. And you know what, I think I might keep it. I think the reason why I do really like books based in Ireland is because I was brought up Catholic, and often books based in Ireland, I can see a bit of my upbringing in them. So I think I'm going to hold on to that and give it a read. Oh, Me Talk Pretty One Day by David Sedaris. I'm going to hold on to this, but honestly, I mean, I got this far. I got quite far, I would say. I think I read this. Did I read this on holiday? I can't remember. Maybe like a quarter of the way through, and I didn't enjoy it. I think I need to give it another proper go, but I'm a bit unsure. I feel like I'm going to give it one more go, and then if I don't like it, it has to go. People love David Sedaris. Maybe he's just not for me. I'm unsure if I really like reading humour. Part of the joy of humour is the way it's told, and so I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just not skilled enough to like read it in the right tone, but I haven't loved this. Then I've got Happy by Fern Cotton. One I'm really unsure about. I've had this for ages. It seems a bit self-helpy, more than I would like. I think I'm going to have a flick through this and then get rid of it. I think if I just sit down this evening and spend an hour kind of flicking through, I'll kind of gain all I have to gain from it, and then I think I'm happy to get rid of it. Then I have this tiny book which is called Christmas for Dull People. I'm going to keep it just because it's so short, but I was supposed to read it this Christmas and I didn't. It hasn't got good reviews, but it's so thin that I would like to give it a read, and I would like to do that at Christmas. So I'll hold on to this for another solid almost 12 months. Another one is Prisoners of Geography. This is by Tim Marshall. I thought this was gonna like really enlighten me, and it just really bored me. I didn't get that far. One of my cousins asked to borrow it, and I don't think she got that far. I see this on so many people's bookshelves, but I think it's just too much of a dull subject for me to want to read about it. So if I do want to learn about geopolitics, I don't think reading a book like this is the way for me to go about it. An American Marriage. Clearly this has been well read. I think I've read it and both my cousins have read it. I think I'm going to pass this on. I did really enjoy this. For example, I think this is a black author, and I think this book is much better than Queenie. I gave this 5 stars, so clearly I did really enjoy it. So I think I'm just happy to pass this along to one of my friends that will enjoy it. I think I know exactly who I'm going to pass this along to too. I do feel a bit bad because it has really seen better days. Oh no, I thought maybe I could just pull it off. I'm not going to do that. Finally, actually, we have Christmas on Primrose Hill by Karen Swan. I live relatively close to Primrose Hill, so that's why I picked this up, and it was a Christmas book and I really wanted a Christmas book. And you know what, I'm probably going to keep this because I don't own other Christmas books apart from that little tiny one. I mean, the reviews on this aren't great. I think I'm gonna hold on to this for one more Christmas, and if I don't read this next Christmas, then clearly I'm not that interested in it and I'll be happy to let it go. But I think just one more Christmas. I guess I'll quickly talk you through what's still on my shelf. Oh, you know what? Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I end up keeping classics like this, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But do I even want to read it? I'm so unsure. Who knows? I do want to read this, which is Grief is a Thing with Feathers. I might read this soon. I don't think this is a happy book. Oh my god, is it poems? I don't know. Anyway, we'll attempt to read that soon. I read If I Never Met You by Maureen McFarlane. This was good. People rave about her book. It was a bit predictable, a bit cliched, but I did still really enjoy it. Please let me know if you spot a book that you think I should read ASAP. I have Midnight's Children by Salman Rushdie. This was given to me. I haven't read any Salman Rushdie, so I'm tempted to read that. Milkman by Anna Burns. Don't really have much to say about that. I picked this up, which is Afropean. I've heard this is really, really interesting, so it's definitely a book I want to read, but I am currently typically leaning towards slightly lighter books than this, which is also why I haven't read neither The Book Thief, which I think is a bit of a classic, everyone's heard of that, and A Thousand Splendid Suns. Then there's Everything I Never Told You, which I absolutely loved and would highly recommend. There's also a series which is great. Oh, The Keeper of Lost Things by Ruth Hogan. I have honestly picked this book up like 100 times. I need to just kind of push through the first few chapters and actually properly finish it and read it. I've heard great things about this, which is Ordinary People by Diane Evans. This I think is another YA, but I've heard great things, so I'm keeping it. It is, I think, a bit of like a mystery. I don't love mysteries, but we'll hold on to this. This is just such a massive book that I'm put off by it, but this is Shantaram by Gregory David Roberts. I don't know, kind of, I feel like I'm just going to quickly flick through. Wait, I think this is the one that was a film. Little Fires Everywhere and Not Everything I Never Told You. I'm a bit confused. This I've read. This is actually one that I would quite happily get rid of again. I think I'm just maybe generally quite happy to get rid of most of the books that I've read. All the Light We Cannot See. This is a book that I really think that will end up being one of my favourites, but I haven't got around to reading it. A Ladder to the Sky. It's actually a book that I have read and I wouldn't get rid of because I'm really a John Boyne fan. I don't think this is his best book. His best book is definitely The Heart's Invisible Furies. I'm really interested in his writing. The Flat Share. Just a lovely light read. I Am. I still have not read. The Hating Game. It was good. I did really enjoy this actually. If you're looking for like a light romance, this is a good one. Tin Man. One I'm actually half tempted to get rid of, but when they're a bit thinner, I don't feel so guilty keeping them. We have this one, which is Bad Dreams by Tessa Hadley. Don't know much about it. Atonement, which I probably won't read anytime soon, but it's a bit of a classic and I think sooner or later I will read it. And then A Little Life, which honestly is top of my reading list, but this is so massive that I've just been putting it off, and I've heard it's super depressing. I really think I'll love this, but it's just such a commitment, and I think I'm just going to end up being like heartbroken throughout, so I feel like I have to get emotionally prepared for it. Like I mentioned, I picked this one up recently. I'm really actually looking forward to reading this. I've heard good reviews. This one I picked up, it's called The Year of the Death of Ricardo Reis, and it's by José Saramago. I'm really looking forward to reading this, but I think this is more based on like Portuguese history, so maybe not for everyone unless you're interested in Portuguese history like I am. The Rosie Project. I don't really know too much about it. And then here's just a few more. This is one that I really want to read, but I've already spoken about this recently. Yeah, I really want to read that soon. Loved this. Actually, these are the books that I took out for my favourites of the last year. Yes, so here's just a little look, I guess. Let me know if any of which I should read next. I do have a few copies of Normal People. There's one there. There's one here. And I lent one to a friend. I think I'm at least going to tell my friend that she can keep the copy that she has, because I definitely don't need 3 copies. So then these are my hardbacks. I'm actually tempted to get rid of this one, which is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. I just don't think it's my sort of book. This one here, it was recently gifted to me, so it's brand new, but I've already got a copy of this in the living room. And what else? These I really, actually I have read the Tattoos of Auschwitz, but I haven't read these two just because I feel like they're a bit heavy and I don't really want to read them now, but I do think at some point I want to read them. And then Claudia Winkleman. Honestly, I'm not sure why I bought this book. At the time I was really obsessed with Claudia Winkleman. It was good, I really do think it was good, but I'm definitely never going to read it again. And there's a few books that are just kind of hanging out on top. So I think I'm just going to go through and organise all of these. There's a lot of like small books, and I find it so annoying that books aren't all the same size. But it kind of seems like these don't really fit on my bookshelf, so I think I'm going to go through and kind of pick out my TBR for the next couple of weeks and put that on top, and put the ones that I've already read more firmly into the shelf. And I actually think I'm gonna have to get back to Goodreads because I don't know how to pick what I want to read. So I think I'm gonna go onto my like on my bookshelf folder on Goodreads and maybe like organise, I don't know, through the top ones. I don't know. How do you pick what book to read? It's so hard. And there's like one book I know I want to read, and that's, oh, it's these, bless me, and that's Find Me. Other than that, I have no idea what's calling to me. Okay, so this is kind of my TBR, although there's quite a lot of hardbacks that I want to read soon too. And due to lack of space, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to remove these really large books and either put them on top or bring them up to my hardback shelf. And then quickly, as a side note, if you guys are looking for a new notebook, these are the ones that I typically use. I've got one more, so I thought I'd grab it. These are all from Papier. Oh, one's got a pen in it. Anyway, this is what I'm currently using. This is mine from last year. I need to find a better home for these. And then this is my diary for last year. And then this is just a notebook. But I have a £10 discount code if you guys want to buy one of these off Papier, which I think makes them like 10-ish pounds. Maybe even slightly cheaper, but they're just really, really beautiful, great quality books. This one here is dotted. And then they also do regular lined. Oh, why is this? Oh, there we go. Regular lined. I have to just hide my face because otherwise it focuses in on my face. Or they also do really lovely diaries. Oh, did I mention that it really bothers me that books aren't all the same height? It really bothers me. So that is my bookshelf. I got rid of these books, which might not seem like a lot, but it has made a difference. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books, which I now need to find homes for. But thank you so much for watching. Do let me know what you spotted on my bookshelf that I should read next. Such a difficult decision to make, so do let me know. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye.